so much for all the effort, your time and effort to come to this round table today. And we are very, it's our warm welcome to all of you. And we are sorry about this slight delay because you know that we have to make sure that everybody's there. So still there are few people are yet to come, but still we don't want to wait anymore. So that's the reason we want to start it. So quickly to share you about this CXO Power Meet. We are rebranding it CXO Roundtable as CXO Power Meet, and CXO Power Meet is a platform for senior leaders and senior executives to come and share high profile talks and conversations on technology, on business models, and primarily on the technology part. So how this could impact your business, all that. That's kind of a conversation is that what we're having in this CXO Power Meet. And this has been initiated by Tata Teleservices. So where Tata Teleservices is the leading ICT company in the country today. And especially post-COVID, they've come up with a lot of new products now. And so Tata Teleservices in its mission to involve and engage CXOs. It's not just for getting insights. It is going to be a great make an impact in the industry as well, because this is not going to be a just discussion among this 10, 12 executives over here, but it is beyond that. We also make this as a video and we put it in a YouTube channel, and it's not only through YouTube channel, it reaches through many platforms. We make sure that it reaches more people so that it benefits the industry. So that's the whole idea. That's the larger vision that we have. And the talk is a knowledge partner for the whole initiative of this. And that's it from my end. Thank you so much once again from my side. And Mr. Shyam Shekhar, who is the CEO of, founder and CEO of Startup Experts, is going to be the moderator for the day. And so he's one of a person very actively involved in the entire entrepreneurial ecosystem in the city here in Chennai. So it's over to Shyam now. Thank you so much.
Intro and a quick round of discussion to kickstart. So happy evening to you all. And we are today talking about the digital space, right? The tone has been set. And before that, I think for the benefit of the other viewers, I think there are tens and thousands of people who are going to actually watch this. So there are a lot of terms that keeps moving around. Okay, we talk about digitization. We talk about digitalization. Then we talk about digital transformation. So is it all the same, or is it interchangeably used? And I think this is some question I've been pumped with whenever we talk about anything on digital. But just to give you a highlight, it is digitization is probably the start of the whole thing. You probably convert some documents and things like that. Then when you talk about digitalization, which is fairly common in many parts, where we talk about collaborative kind of working solutions, which can improve your productivity, get some efficiency increased and stuff like that, like sharing documents on the cloud and collaborating with others. But when you talk today, we are here to talk about digital transformation, which is even a much bigger cost because it impacts the organization in terms of the strategy, in terms of the thought process, in terms of business models, in terms of new revenue streams and growth. I think it's a strategic shift, and most people keep asking whether it is for large corporates. I think that's why we are all here to share the thoughts, to highlight why it's just not meant for large corporates, but it is also meant for SMEs and startups and growing enterprises. It's a common terminology. With that, I welcome all of you once again, and I would like to welcome the panelists. Welcome to Mr. Balasundaram, CTO of Coda Technology Solutions. Mr. Ganesh, Director of ThinkSync Solutions. Dr. Cyril Raj, Additional Registrar of Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute. Mr. Kumaravel, AGM, ILNFS, I think he's yet to join in. Mr. Ramesh Aditya, Head of Strategy, Shankar IAS Academy. Mr. Rupesh, Associate Director of Soleka. We have Dr. Ilamparadi, Dean of Panimalar Medical College Hospital and Research Institute. And Mr. Prakash, Director, Nidus Tech Solutions. Mr. Arjunan, Vice President, Brandcom, which is a Madison World company. Also, yeah, covered. Yeah, I think these two are yet to come in, I think. Okay, and also Mr. Kadravel Dandapani, Head Sales, TN and AP, Tata Tele Business Services. Welcome you all once again. Thank you. So we will start. I wanted to start asking you a quick question with every one of you. I think this is common to all of you. In this year, what has been your one top priority that you have been working on in the digital space for your organization and institutions? Maybe a quick 30-second. You can just share. Maybe we'll start with you.
We plan to use a lot of SaaS product to improve our day-to-day activity, to make automation our day-to-day activity, and we focus to work on only on our core development. That's what we are implementing. There is a lot of improvement on our work process.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Since I'm representing higher educational institution side,
yes.
Recently we have come across with the COVID. It's a work from home, study from home, all these things, which has still got that impact also. So students are thinking about why can't we have both hybrid version of the education also. So now we are massively into the process of digitizing all our content delivery platforms. Okay. The content as well as the delivery platform we are rapidly building up so that the students, they wanted to have offline knowledge acquisition also. Even after the college hours, they wanted to continue their learning. At the same time, there is a paradigm shift among the students also. Okay, if not today's class, probably if that content is available on the platform, let me go through it. So you don't worry about the knowledge component. So this is the attitude. So we are rapidly working on that.
So content is the focus for you today. Okay.
I have to continue with what Professor has stopped. Pandemic time, we went very aggressively on online mode. We started our online delivery mode in Shankarai's Academy in 2017-18. And we have students from across the globe. And now what happened in the pandemic scenario, we went very aggressively on online mode. And now the students are expecting, as Professor said, yes, students are students always. And we are focusing right now on making it as a hybrid model. Though the students like to have it in offline and they demand for content retrieval process. That's what we are really working on it, and we have gone ahead with creating a mobile application right now, and Shankarai's Academy mobile application is already ready, and we are with LMS solutions as well. So this is what our focus this year.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
So, yeah, we are a software development company, so for us, online meetings, continuous meetings, long meetings, and then secure digital collaboration of documents. This is where we are making more.
it's a focus, good focus. Okay, cool.
We used to take class online, but after COVID, almost, the people is exposed to the clinical material. Only often only they can see all the cases, patients, everything. So they feel better as far as my subject is concerned, my medicine is concerned. They feel only if they expose directly to the patients, they are very happy. Even though we have the best simulation lab, in Palmer we have the best simulation lab. In spite of that, they are happy by seeing the patient on the bedside.
Okay,
Yes.
understood. Yes, because some things are not exactly replaceable. So, nice.
Other things that we do, we also build our own business applications, which are essentially kind of, I would say, industry agnostic because we, of course, go into the functional side. One of the large things that we did around this area was to conceive and launch a product in about, I would say, less than about 9 months' time. So what we have is a financial reporting tool which is completely automated. So your tally gives you financial information, but it doesn't give you analysis. Correct? So what we did is completely automate this whole financial reporting process because it's invariably the decision making in organizations take time because they wait for the financial reports to come, and the financial reports are people dependent to some extent in spite of having been in a SAP environment. So we've automated that completely. So we about 4 months back we launched a product called Think Numbers, which essentially completely automates your both financial reporting and non-financial parameters. So business is not just about finance. Correct? There are other operation parameters that needs to be seen in businesses for you to make decisions. So all this was learning out of COVID because COVID was delaying these analysis for organizations that we work with. So this is basically one of the biggest things that we've done in the COVID side.
That's nice. Thank you. Yeah. So in the last 1 year, our focus is on application development as well. So we built a SaaS application to manage business listings online, and the last 1 year there are a lot of investments that went into that direction, and that has been the transformative thing that has happened in our organization, which is right now live, and a lot of customers use it. It's called ProManage. Yeah. Okay. Good. That's a new brand. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So I, like Sir had mentioned, represent Brandcom. We are into public relations. So generally, if you look at public relations, it's a very collaborative work environment that you have, because a lot of the times you are into thinking process in terms of brainstorming, and we call ourselves as expert in strategic storytelling. So if you look at last couple of years, there's been a significant transformation, and also a kind of a progress, that we are witnessing. If you look at, the client relationship, the employee relationship in terms of your ideation sessions and things like that, there's a lot of change that happened thanks to your virtual meetings. Today we are able to collaborate with our colleagues nationally and do a brainstorming, which was not the case before pandemic, if you look at. Similarly, if you look at, many of our clients are very open for virtual meetings. And just to give you an example, before COVID, if you had a client who's having national presence and he's from Chennai, if you talk to a journalist in Bombay and Delhi, they would prefer to meet the CXO whenever they travel and they are in that situation. But today it's not the case, and they are open for video interaction, whether it is through your Zoom mostly. So this is really helping us, it's very time saving and things like that. So this is from the collaborative work environment perspective. Second, like Sir had mentioned, the reports play a very important role in our industry. So we are trying to see how we can actually, your Google Drives and all that are really helping us to kind of, share the work that you do instantly with your clients. And the clients are always, whether you talk of, some clients are comfortable with Stack Channel. All these technologies are really helping us to kind of improve the delivery aspect. And clients are also quite appreciative of the quality, which is because of this technology evolution, I would say, in today's time.
Okay, so I think two of you had clearly pointed out in terms of the technology pace has kind of got accelerated, during the pandemic. But if not for that, is it really important for an SME or a startup firm to seriously consider a digital transformation into the fast track mode? What is your quick thought on that?
Very much. In a sense, I think the digital transformation is already there in many companies. And like I had said, the COVID has only accelerated the speed of this transformation. And as we speak, just recently, I think there was a case in our client's business. Yesterday I was with Mr. Pandirajan. So they have now a lot of these companies from your, tier 3 and even deep in rural, who are utilizing a digital platform to avail their HR service business. So that's actually, if you look at digital, whenever we talk of, we think it's more of urban. But clearly, the companies which are in the rural market, they are realizing the importance of this digital, and they are quite open for this.
A couple of more thoughts maybe you can add. Sure. How important is it?
So with respect to what we do, right, looking at it this way, there are about 650 crore searches that happen online on a monthly basis in India, where people look for products and services that are near them, right? And these searches are typically high intent purchase searches because they are looking for things that are near them to procure a product or a service. So businesses have understood the importance of being digitally present and be available online. I think that is very critical realization that all business had, and it is a lot more helpful when they are doing it the right way, right? And that is exactly where it comes in, and that is the significance I feel that for a business to be digitally present online.
Your take?
Okay, I have kind of a different viewpoint to this, in the sense that in India I see that the SMEs are adopting digital changeover much more rapidly than larger organizations.
Okay.
The SMEs probably because they understand the need for the change, one. Second is that they are far more nimble in terms of wanting to change than the larger organization. But there's a lot of legacy in the larger organization which sits there, don't want to change because the moment they say digital, they mean 1,500 employees will go and all that stuff, correct? And SMEs really don't have those challenges. So their ability to change and their ability to move on to a lot of change in the digital world is way, way more than even the larger organizations.
That's a very interesting perspective. How about you, sir? Okay. Super. Okay. For your kind of business, what kind of a tech adoption have you initiated to ensure continuity of your business operations? Because there are disruptions, there are things happening. So how did you ensure, or what kind of tech that you actually adopted?
Already mentioned the main, we used to meet customer to understand, give demos, a lot of things will be there. As in south part, customers more interested to on offline presence. There, we need to go there, sit and explain everything. Now, since all meeting has been happening virtually, people are ready to accept. Okay, come, you can give a demo. It's easy for us to give and win the deal, and it saves a lot of times.
Okay. So you're able to get into the online meeting more than physical in person. It saves time and
it saves times, and it's a lot of
everything else. Much
easily
easier.
Win the deal.
True, very true.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, sir. With the digital transformation, we have adapted a lot of process in our education system, right from the application filing onwards. We process, we do analysis of the data. So from which particular state the application have come, and then what type of the family background the students are preferring. And then, so like that, we could able to have lot of such a statistics, and then known to us, so that we could able to concentrate much on, which are the good takeaway from the public also. And then, after admissions, now it is a matter of progressing, how the students are progressing. Right. So the progressing, it's not simply by marks alone there. So we need to monitor them in many aspects also. So that's what actually we used to have a lot of rubrics for various kind of activity, and then we try to encode them into some figures. So obviously that the back-end activities for the faculty members have raised. So unless digital assistants are provided, so the digging out those informations, and then what are the trends which are happening there, and then even during the examination also, right now, that watchdog, organizations nuclear, they are asking us how your students are, getting evaluated. So where we need to clearly tell, this is the purpose of providing that particular education. That is the objective. So objective 1, objective 2, objective 3, like that. So when at the end of the course, we should be able to say that what percentage of that objective have been achieved or not.
Right.
So if you see the macro level view, it's only the mark. but we have to
There's a lot of
again
other
go
parameters.
down to the individual knowledge component, and then we have to identify is this objective is achieved or not. If not achieved, then again we have to go back where things went wrong. So everything needs. A total.
It's a holistic
decision.
solution that
Yeah,
we need to
a very strong, robust decision support system. So we are building up, and then we are right now working on that.
Very nice. Okay, interesting. Your thoughts?
Our line of work is like totally dynamic. Our content is dynamic. It is not static. So what happens normally is that we use digitization for retrieval of what had happened in the classroom. Now we are having that hybrid mode, but only to retrieve the students to retrieve what had happened in the classroom, that too for making them capitalize the particular part as well. We are not completely into digital right now. We are moving out of digital to a physical mode, but of course we are retrieving that particular part of being digital to help the students to retrieve them, because ours is a dynamic part. It is not a static one. Every day it is researched. Every day the content is researched and delivered by our faculty members. So it is a mix and match.
Okay, cool.
It's our enterprise platform. So continuity in the cloud is very critical for us. Text-based documents, it's not a problem. But when you come to video or other formats and processing video, it's very costly, I think, not only for us, but for our customers also. That's where I think bottleneck is there.
That's okay. So now we have a different kind of a question. While doing this kind of a digital transformation, what kind of a challenge did you actually face, and how did you overcome, specific to?
Because we have to, in detail, we have to explain to the students.
Okay.
There are about 7.5% are coming from the Tamil medium language. They may not know what is what.
Right.
So faculty must be thoroughly, they have to explain in detail to the student. It will take some time for them to understand. But they will pick it up. Shortly they will pick it up.
I'll have to talk for my clients. Actually.
Yes.
So I think one of the bigger challenges that we face when we work with clients is it's not just digital transformation, any transformation, correct? The change management, all the aspects of the change management is where the problems are. Now, obviously all organizations in some form or the other are successful and they've reached where they've reached because of the way they work, correct? Now, when there's a digital transformation, the fundamental requirement beyond digital transformation is process changes. Correct? Organizations have to give up on certain processes, adopt certain processes that can work for them, enable these digital transformation. Making those changes and the fear of the change is probably the biggest problem that we have faced in implementing any of the changes. Correct? And I think that's where we always recommend that do it in small pieces. Don't go and blow the ocean. Right? Don't try to kind of make a massive change, because a massive change has repercussions, because the moment the team feels that this is not successful, the next change is going to be impossible. So do small changes, correct? Prove that the change can happen. Prove for themselves that the change can happen, and then keep doing it incrementally.
So again, I need to talk on behalf of my clients, probably prospects, right?
Sure.
So one thing that a challenge for us is sensitizing the businesses about the risks and the massive opportunity that is there in the all digital world that we have been pushed to the post-COVID scenario, right? So while some businesses are oblivious to what is happening with respect to the digital world, there are some businesses that are aware but do not have the tool or the expertise, and positioning ourselves to be the solution provider in order to give them the digital visibility that they need is a bigger challenge at this moment, because some still haven't realized the need. So when a digital user actually comes and approaches to you, right, and if a business is able to engage them and convert that motivated interest to a product sale or a service sale, that is exactly where a business would thrive. And we think that is a challenge where we help understand business how to go about doing this. This has been critical for us.
Okay.
Again, we have two groups, right? One is our internal, second is our clients. Now, if you look at it from internal perspective, the transformation has been, appreciated by all our employees. But the challenge here is how sustainable it can be when we are implementing, when we are trying to look at different mediums to engage with our employees. Okay, as simple as before COVID, the birthday celebrations of colleague used to happen in one office, and probably you take some photograph and circulate. But today, we can do that in the presence of all the employees across the cities. But then, in terms of sustainability, in terms of keeping them engaged, whilst we are doing a lot of these training programs virtually, how effective it is, we are still trying to understand, and I think there's a lot to be done in that space. Now, when it comes to client side, the challenge that we see is the cost factor, because it's not like we have one system for all types. We have different clients with different requirements, so our approach, our team structure, our engagement models will be different from a client to client, right? Now, with the kind of technology evolution and all of that, all of us are naturally exposed to technology. Whoever is using smartphone is exposed to technology, the transformation. But then what I can do for a client who's paying a healthy retainer cannot be done for a client who's paying probably a very, and it differs from a market to market again in our industry, in PR industry, because the hub markets like your Bombay and Delhi, the PR game is quite different. The understanding of PR is quite different. When you have to compare with markets like Tamil Nadu, which are generally known as conservative, and many of the businesses are still family-run businesses, and they have their own name and fame in the market. True. So they think anything can be done, if you are associated. So there are a lot of things that are playing a role when it comes to digital transformation in our business. But predominantly, if you ask me, from client's perspective, one is the cost. From the internal perspective, the effectiveness and the sustainability.
Thanks. How has the digital transformation enhanced your customer experience? I know you have any example to highlight that something you did that enhanced the experience of a customer?
Like currently we are now building, for most of our customers, we are building APIs, so which integrate with even their SAP systems. So where we do outsourced knowledge work. So sitting in our place, we do some data quality and checking, testing, data testing, that sort of activities for customers who are across the world, Dubai and many countries also. So here because the data flow is text only, so speed does not matter, but the convenience and ease of the integration has improved.
Okay. Customers have felt the ease of
integration
doing business with you times. Nice.
To EdTech yet.
Okay.
But I'm still in a kind of digital transformation stage.
Kind of
but
shifting slowly in that
not
direction.
shifting. Okay. We are adopting the best things from there. Okay. And of course, continuing with what we have. Customer-centric, my customers are students. Students now, they can learn as they want. So in their own speed, own space. That's what I would say. And nowadays, yeah, of course, we have our feedback model and feedback systems over there, and that is happening. And we have slowly got into this artificial intelligence-based feedback model, AI-based. We are the only academy in India who have started this. So far, we are the pioneers now. Whatever the tests the students are taking up, they'll get an AI-powered feedback. So that is actually they are saying it's wow. So that's what is happening.
Because that's obviously enhancing the user experience.
Absolutely,
Because you are picking the inputs and then you are
absolutely. For me, the performance is the outcome, right?
Right.
For my students, their performance in the exam is the outcome. So that's how we gauge and we evaluate, and things been done immediately. So they're happy about it.
Nice.
Thank you.
From our side, I can quote one example. Until the pre-COVID, we were doing central evaluation for all our answer scripts. We used to invite experts So that process itself took nearly 1 month. So a student has to wait for long days to complete the process. So after writing that examination, it will take another 1 month for us to release. Then again, the students will come with a lot of no, this we are not happy with these results. So again, we used to revisit, and then so like that, all these stories were continuing. But after digitization of the evaluation process, we scan immediately on the day itself. No, we have given to that party, so they'll scan the entire answer scripts, and then we put it on the cloud. And then already the controller team would have already identified who are the experts across the globe.
Right.
So they'll just open up, these are the script you are supposed to evaluate, and then we used to give what are the key for those evaluations also. And then we do a lot of, that is online data collections also. Say for example, if I am the evaluator, so how much time that I am spending going through these answers, because actually, just for the sake of, giving the marks, doing it or not, like that. Actually, there are a lot of the back-end data verification process are also happening there. So this give lot of insight onto the evaluation process. Now, we have brought down that is the re-evaluation request to 5%. Early it was around 10%. Now it has gone. Now we are aiming. Yeah, that's what. And then the other thing is the money spent for bringing these people and then making them to stay over there in Chennai. So all these things, we could able to bring down the cost by 30%.
Yeah, I think you have an overall
that's what.
benefits.
So a lot of benefits that actually now we are thinking. One step ahead also. Suppose can we have some AI-based platform so that can it dig out the correct answers from the scribbled answer sheets also. So this may be definitely it cannot be replaced with an examiner. But the thing is he can be given with the information. So what is there in the content. Okay. So that's what actually right now we are looking after.
You're thinking ahead. Thanks.
See, basically we are into cloud call center connections. So we normally build ready-made API connectors with all CRMs and ERP. So it is easy for them to connect, plug and play, to make their work easy for the customers. And again, we have integrated with WhatsApp integration. So it is easy for them. Once call has been disconnected, immediately the information, it may be sales collateral or it may be support related issue, it reached the customers. So engagement start from there itself. So it is easy for them, customer and the
customer.
Yeah, customers. Easy for them, they can easily solve their whatever the queries or sales, whatever the stuff.
Super. So I would like to ask you, what is the best practice or idea that you wanted to share for any SME or enterprise to grow?
Idea from
what is the one best practice or idea that you want to tell SMEs from a digital transformation perspective?
Generally, our understanding is that looking at various clients and all that, the employee productivity plays an important role when it comes to SMEs. The very first question that you asked in terms of how the SMEs can be and why. If you look at the speed, the cost factor, the access to service, some of these areas, where SMEs really benefit from the digital transformation aspect in terms of accessing or going through the process. So that way, like for instance, in our company, we have this employee pulse check report, which is basically to capture not only the employee satisfaction element, but also reduce the time and effort taken by their respective managers whilst doing your reviews or whatever, right? Everything is captured, everything is, technology driven. Okay. So wherever you think a technology can help increase the productivity, will certainly help the organization to grow much faster.
Okay, thanks.
By practice, what we would suggest is any technology that is going to help you quantify your employee productivity again, right? If you're able to pinpoint at the task and the effort and the resultant outcome to it, and if you're able to manage that well, I think that is a key thing for SME businesses. The other thing I would say is a place which acts as a knowledge base for you to share your learnings and updates, because we are all working remote, we are slowly now coming back to offices, right? There are a lot of things that would be happening. To constantly get updates, constantly have updates on what is something that they have learned new as a knowledge base, I think that would be a lot more helpful for an SME as they
Nice. Most of people are dispersed, so it's,
yes, exactly.
you are interconnecting through the knowledge.
Collaborative
system.
efforts.
Perfect. Nice.
My perspective, I think, couple of things. One is the fundamental change that is happening in this whole digital space is not in the organization but at the consumer.
Right.
Correct. I think the consumer change is way more rapid than what the organizations are changing. Correct. Organizations are, whether it is an SME or a large organization, they are just aping another organization because he is doing it, let me also do it. Correct. The need for going back and speaking to your customers, knowing your customers well, understanding their change on the digital space is very critical, because the same consumer who's consuming something through digital by getting an Uber is also buying your vegetables.
True.
Correct. If he says, look, something can happen in Uber in a way, correct, why can't a vegetable vendor do that? That's the kind of change that's happening, and that's a largest change that seems to be happening, and organizations have to kind of understand that space because consumers are demanding those changes.
Right.
So that's one thing. The other thing is that what seems to have happened in most organizations, they use digital as a cost-saving mode. Right? The start point for digitization is that, like, I want to save cost. Now, what seems to happen is that seems not working too well, because a lot of businesses, there's a human touch still required.
True.
Correct? And I think you can't take away that human touch. Yeah. Now, how do we enable digitization and human touch and make for example, in a typical sales process, right? You go to a sales call, you don't have information in a sales call. Digitization gives you information, but digitization does not replace a salesman. Now, these are, I would say, the fundamental blocks in which the SMEs or any large enterprise have to look at digitization. Don't look at it as a cost saving. Figure out how you can make your interaction smarter, how you can make it much more richer.
Correct. I think change the thought process from cost saving or productivity improvement perspective to something
cost saving
larger.
will eventually happen, because you're able to sell more, you're able to get more from the same consumer, all that will happen, but that's not the
primary objective to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got you. Nice.
See, we keep telling our clients also that today, whether you are in a B2B business or a B2C business, you cannot say that your consumer is accessing information only on XYZ platform, because today the consumer is everywhere. And if we all know how the YouTube, your Netflix, all these platforms are really engaging consumer in a very big way. Okay, so SMEs, when you look at digital, I think you look at it from digital future perspective. And it is more from how you can actually be connected with your customer, who is not in just one particular medium or in location, but he's there everywhere, is accessing or consuming information from various channels. So it is important that you are there in relevant platforms to be able to engage and maintain that relationship with your customer.
Okay. Be there where your customers are. Sure. Super. Your best practice that you would like to share.
Digital transmission, sometimes it may misunderstood with some of the organization. So instead of using the ready-made products available, instead of they're trying to build it. They're trying to spend more time, more energy to build it, right? They have to focus on their core business. Right. And they try to use whatever ready-made SaaS product is available. They use it, as Sir said, just bits and parts, implement, experiment, then proceed further. Right? I met a lot of people, they come to me, sir, I need CRM. Boss, why you need a CRM? Unless really it's helping you. Anyway, as I said, cost involved. The cost will give us more productive, then it's fine. Simply, now I also want to digital transfer, never going to help you.
Okay.
So they have to use
what is done in one place may not be exactly suitable for
yeah,
you.
Yeah,
in another way
correct,
around.
correct.
Yes. Nice.
Out of India, trying to categorize various higher educational institutions like A plus plus category. If you take NAC and then A plus and then A like that. If you see the difference between the A plus plus and then A and then other so on and so forth, it differentiate between how they handle information there in that organization, how they are connecting the stakeholders in that organization. So that is the key differentiator between this A plus plus and then A plus institutions and then other ordinary institutions. So now we are focusing towards again A plus plus with the recent accreditation process. The thing is, from parent side, even right now there are some parents who are demanding the increase in the marks for their wards also. Now they could able to pull out. They are not subject experts, but they are able to pull out various answers from public domain, and then they are fighting with us. Why the right marks were not awarded to our children. So these are some of the demands. So now we wanted to have a transparency across. Suppose when examinations were conducted, now we want to open up how these marks were awarded. So let it be a transparency across. So obviously people will be focused on the sincere way of doing that evaluation, all these things. And then this is one example I am telling you. So like that, even connecting the the recruiters also. The recruiters actually, they wanted to easily find out the creamy students. So again, for which we have to conduct we have to use a lot of digital platforms only. So we have to conduct a lot of hackathon, and then we have to categorize them. Okay, these are the creamy students. You can come and then handpick them. So like that, everywhere. Unless those transformations were done and then readily available, given to the the various stakeholders.
Right.
So definitely, we cannot push to that particular the niche category of educational institution. So
Very nice.
digital transformation is very, very important. If we fail in that, so definitely we are not in the race.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
My take is little bit different from Professor, because what we feel is that we can't force anything on the customer, and we have to go with the customer's expectations and meet them with utmost clarity. That's what my take is here. Based on our experience, we can't force, again I repeat once again, we can't force anything on the customer. We have to understand the customer's pulse, expectations, and then meet those expectations. Then you are clear and you are through in your business. Simple.
Nice.
Company, we are AI/ML service providers. From our experience, we are able to add competitive advantage to our customers using AI/ML to overseas clients at a very cost-effective rate. Actually, as we are a very, very small player, I think other people also can. Already, people are suggesting that, saying that they are exploring that. So I think it's the threshold is there where if you use AI/ML technologies, you can create competitive advantage for your own company.
Fantastic. What are the kind of solutions that you have for the SMEs? In particular, hearing about experts what they say, and what does Tata Tele Business Services have to offer SMEs?
So typically, I think whatever I could listen to the last about an hour conversations, a lot of insights being shared from their experiences and how the digital transformation which has happened in the last couple of years and the journey that has taken. From Tata Tele Services, the way we are supporting the organizations in the spaces. One is, I think everybody, at least in this room, would understand the connectivity is the fundamental part of the service what we offer. When we say telecom and Tata Tele, I'm sure everybody relates to the connectivity piece, which is the basic part, which could be an internet lease line or voice telephone services. But I would like to mention that we have also evolved, and what COVID has taught us in the last 2 years is to look at the solutions and create some of the solutions that can support the organizations in this digital transformation, which are like the cloud telephony that helps the organizations to work on either be it a work from home, or I would say some of them mentioning the hybrid is the model that is expectation from the customers or from the employees and the people.
Right.
So we have gone into the space of cloud telephony, which is basically the voice service that can be used even if you're at home, not necessarily to be at office, or it can be a hybrid model, integrating with the CRM, integrating with APIs and all this kind of solutions. What is offered beyond the connectivity, which is the Smart Flow is a product, what we call it, and apart from that, we have also the connectivity. When I say, while the internet or a voice solution is a piece that is majorly remembered by the SMEs and the organizations, there is also a need of cyber security in today's scenario of the digitalization that's happening across. So every organization, every SME or large or a medium organization is keen to have the right cyber security solutions, right? So endpoint security, which is critical for the organization, or an email security, which are basically the first layer, or I would say the layer which is network security is something which every organization by default implements, because without a firewall, your system admin or a network admin will not even have the network deployed or work. But I think even the endpoint security or email security is also very critical with the increase in the number of cyber threats that's happening, and that is continuing to raise what we see, right? So these are some of the other solutions that we have got into. And also, apart from the cyber security, the next solution that we have got into is the Microsoft licenses. When I say not only Microsoft, I would call it the cloud and the collaboration suite of services, which is like the Microsoft or the Google licenses and the Azure cloud, Microsoft Azure cloud, and Zoom platform. So these are some of the solutions beyond connectivity what we have gone into, and that has been supporting a lot of our customers to increase the reach, increase the revenue and the services for their business, as well as with Tata Tele being one point of solution provider as well. So that's what we have on the platter to offer to the SMEs.
Fantastic. I think it's quite an array of solutions touching upon so many end-to-end.
Yes.
I also want to ask you, can you also highlight any one or two real-life examples, how it has transformed any SME business, any kind of solutions that you would like to give us an example?
Okay. So, see, I can possibly refer to any IT or an education for that matter. So let me take, if I take education as a vertical or a segment as an example, possibly I would allow Kamal to speak about it, where we had offered solution to a lot of institutions where the cloud telephony has helped them to work on a hybrid or integrate the APIs. So I think Kamal can elaborate more on the solution, how it was provided to the education sector.
Sure, yes.
Yeah, centers who provide higher education in abroad. So during COVID time, they struggle a lot. Like they already given a contact numbers in the websites and pamphlets and newspapers. Like when the students, they are seeking for the information during COVID time, they are reaching out the existing numbers. So we given a solution that cloud telephone. Whatever the existing numbers are available, that number it's forwarded to our cloud number. That can be accessible from the office, from the centers, from the home. If they are not able to come to their centers, the counselors, they are given the details. So like that we given in Chennai, in Mumbai, in Delhi, multiple centers we have given. They access through our cloud telephone. Even the cloud telephone, they can take the reports, they can do analytics, and they can see the recordings. So how our counselors, they were given the proper information to students. So this kind of solutions helped in the education scenario.
All of you were mentioning about the importance of having the right kind of reports and understanding and the analytics that are very critical. So these kind of solutions are making the ease of an SME deploying the solution without having to invest on any infrastructure. So you just go on a subscription model of just subscribe to the service, and all this is made available because it's on the cloud.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Correct. I think one of the key point was don't reinvent the wheel by trying to create something when ready-made solutions are available.
Absolutely.
And you already fine-tuned that over experience and expertise with so many other firms and institutions. So it's good to plug and play and just focus on your core. I think that's the message I think you're trying to communicate in short.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Before we end, I wanted to ask a question, nothing to do with digital transformation out here. How do you actually get yourself updated? I would call it as business updates. What do you read and what do you follow? Just a one-liner.
So I try to watch all SaaS owner interviews, and whatever update they will come, I will use, and I will use Google Alerts to create related topics related to my domain. So whenever the articles and anything comes, it will come to my inbox and easily watch it.
Very true. Easy way to consume.
Center called as Digital Resource Center. Some of the faculty members over there, they keep continuously watching on how our peers are performing.
Okay, so you keep track.
That's what actually we keep track of them, and then immediately we find out as sir has the solution. Whatever that actually he has right now, he said no, we have already implemented there in our university, because actually we handle around lakhs of inquiries. So it is not physically possible for us to call each one of them, our counselors. So as and when we get around 5,000, 10,000 data, we push it onto the cloud. The cloud will make automatic dialing, and then it will filter out, and then it will say that who are the possible candidates. Then we pass on the information to our counselors so that they'll keep track of those students. So these are the way. We have to see, we have to look around.
You're looking around and keeping abreast.
Yeah, that's what.
One step ahead than the others and stuff like that.
We have different sources, multiple sources, I would say. We start with our newspapers again, and we have a network with our competition as well. And if you ask me about the updation about educational sector, yes, we have professors like sir, and there are many people around, and they are ready to give us inputs whenever we meet them in educational conclaves conducted by different people, right from your ICT Academy to different kinds of people who organize such events. Whenever we attend those events, we have more information get updated, and we try to implement that in our academy. Simple.
Nice. News websites. Anything in particular that you want to highlight?
There is one Y Combinator blogs, news aggregators like that.
Fantastic.
Efficacy regarding the medical. Even today I had one patient that also has, usually pregnant lady will have hypothyroid. Today that lady had hyperthyroid. So hyperthyroid. So I went to the Google, I browsed everything. I was able to know, even though I finished my medicine, but still clearly I can go through the Google and can make any decision about that.
I think today the challenge, personally for me, is not about I would say, where do I get information? Because there's abundance of it. Correct. The key challenge for me is more about how do I distinguish between noise and information.
Yes.
Right. I think that's where I'm not saying I mastered it, but I think there is enough and more information. Wherever you touch, there's information. There's so much amount of stuff going around. Right. So I being a little more, I would say, focused in terms of what do I want to kind of get informed on, and that's changing. Correct. And I think then go and seek those informations rather than look at information that gets bumped onto you.
Okay. So you seek through primarily through Google kind of a stuff?
Primarily through multiple things, Google reviews, and there's a lot of expert information that's going around. Correct. And important is also to kind of look at both sides. So the advantage that you have in the current world is to look at both perspectives. Correct. And I think read both perspectives rather than getting stuck on one viewpoint, because that is very biased in way.
Very true. You need to get the holistic view on the overall. Yeah.
On economic times.
Okay.
And I go through business review documents published by reputed institutes as well, which is backed by data. So that is primarily where I go for information. Yeah.
Okay. Super. Nice.
I think it's an interesting question. I look at it in two ways again. One is thanks to your machine learning and artificial intelligence. My mobile, whatever I use, they track what I like, what I do, where I go. So they update me. So that is, they constantly update what I like, right? So YouTube.
Just go to the Google Discovery.
Yeah. So
and it gives you whatever you.
Exactly. And you go to any platform, right? So everything, today there is nothing called transparency, privacy. Everything is there in the, public domain. What I watch at what time, what I like, everything is now monitored. So that way, thanks to this technology, I am in a way updated. And the other side, if you look at, in addition to what I do, and in terms of updating myself, again, I look at it in different ways, right? So we are in PR business, luckily. Our job starts with, you're reading all your newspapers, understanding what is happening in each client's business, the competition, the industry, what is happening at government level, what is happening at local level. So from the first word to last word, be it Economic Times, Business Standard, Hindu, Times of India, or Daily Tandi. Luckily, I read Telugu and all Hindi, so I read a lot of papers. If not for my own knowledge, at least to serve my clients better. That is the other way. And if you look at interestingly, as we all know, it's not like, like I said, it's not like one publication will give you the complete information. It differs from your, profile to profile. The CXOs generally at top level, they predominantly read business articles, and if you want to know what is happening in the city, you might depend on Times of India, because no other media can actually monitor what is happening in the city better than the Times of India, is my personal view. So that way you have different platforms. The other critical thing which I keep sharing with my colleagues as well is to learn by observing, learn by interacting with people. So I kind of invest myself to observe what is happening around me, be it, watching movies, visiting malls, all of that. And the interesting, which you might find it interesting hopefully, is that spending a lot of time with your cab drivers, auto rickshaws and tea stalls, because if you want to really update yourself about the city, what is happening politically, society-wise and all of that, I believe they are the best go-to when it comes to, because if you look at, none of us read Daily Tandi and all from, the first word to last word, right? But they will, and they interact with a lot of people. So I see them as a great source of information when it comes to society, when it comes to, the city, the state. So that way, I try to update myself. It is very important that we keep learning. We all know, learn, relearn, unlearn. So that way I try to engage, with many platforms. Luckily, I'm in PR business. Again, I'm saying, unlike technology and all of that, PR business is to kind of deal with different people and try to understand, so that you are really updated the kind of campaigns the brands are doing, so that I go to my client and update them what is happening in the market. And generally, sorry. The last point is, clients appreciate when you are updated and when you are the first person to tell what is happening, right? So we always try to better ourselves.
So it's not like one point you go to. You have information everywhere.
Sir said
learning is everywhere. So I think
it's about how much we can learn and how much technology can teach us.
Can get you. It's a nice combination. Good. Pradesh, you have some question interesting.
No, it's just out of curiosity, because we have a very diverse, profiles here. This is out of curiosity. I just want to know whether it is Tata Teleservices or any other technology company for that case. If one thing that this is going to really make my business really easy, or it is going to help me in a big way, is there something like that for all this business? You should be having, because for example, in our own business we have certain issues. So we look at for one thing, like that, what this is going to make my business different. So is there anything that will you be able to comment on that way? Is there something like that? It's completely out of my curiosity. I don't know whether you have your thought process in that way.
It's a random throw, so anyone can fit.
My personal is that, we were talking about SMEs, and you have like 7.9 million, whatever, happening rural, deep rural. Every business has a customer, just like how every movie has an audience, and every song has, a lover. So every business has a customer, and the current evolution in the form of technology really helps a business to reach that customer quickly. And the important aspect, which I understand from different leaders, is that in today's time, it's not about the kind of language that you use. Predominantly, when we talk of language, we refer English, but how you can be more regional. If you look at from television to OTT to everywhere, we are seeing this transformation. We are witnessing that. The regional language plays a very, very important role. So, the simplified language, in our country, the report suggests, some reports say 6%, some reports say 8%, but only 6 to 8% speak English. The rest, they still do a very local conversation. So it is important that you understand your customer and understand their profile, and try to, when we, in our business development is a very, very critical task. Correct, sir? So, we need to really understand our clients before we even think of going and meeting them, right? So that, I think, is very important, sir. Second, from technology perspective, I think, even your customers are looking for your service. It's not like nobody wants to, but the problem is the terminologies, the cloud and all that. Today, at least, in the business circle, people understand. We are all used to, technology change. We are using your Google Maps. Earlier, we used to ask auto owners, every na inga pono. But Google tells you everything. It's not like I'm not used to, right? But then the word digital transformation sounds so big for companies that, I have to invest extra money. I have to have people with technology background. Today there's so much change. There's so many companies who can help you do your business with ease. So I think...
And most techs are actually free.
That's
right. Google Cloud or your maps or name it. WhatsApp.
Because everyone is see, many of these big businesses, they are playing this valuation game. They are playing this market share game. They are actually not playing the profit game, right? So a lot of companies are there purely from valuation perspective, from reach perspective, and SMEs, I think.
One point I have, I think, wrong forum to say that, but I think nevertheless, I think most companies, right, I think, believe that technology is their business for some reason. Correct? For a lot of companies, technology is an enabler to their business. The core business doesn't change. The principles of the core business remains the same. Correct? Now, how does technology make my business nimbler, much more faster, and a lot more profitable? That should be the thing. I think don't change your core business for the technology adoption. Sure. Correct? That's when the startup world has taught everybody that everything is a tech company.
Right.
right? Uber is a cab company, but it calls themselves a tech, correct? Similarly, Zomato is a food service company, correct? They just deliver food for you, correct? So they are not a tech company, right? Technology is an enabler, right? I think as long as, I think luckily all the participants here spoke about their core business, correct? Outside world doesn't talk about core business, because sadly they're all colored by the fact that it's all tech. Right? Doing an app does not solve your business problem.
True.
Correct? Don't look at an app to solve your business problem, solve your business problem. App is an enabler to solve your business problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Actually, recently we got into some issues where there are we have the helpline for our university. We cannot have multiple lines also. And at the same time, university like ours having 15 different faculty, around 25,000 students, channelizing the calls to the right authority and then finding out what is the real content of that particular conversation. Suppose if we are not able to attend the call immediately, because anyway, we cannot ask all the people to keep their mobile 24/7. So definitely it is not possible. But at the same time, we find it very difficult in going back to the recorded calls and then pointing who is the responsible person that problem should have been attended. So these are some of the issues where we feel that a kind of artificial intelligence put onto that particular platform may solve, channelize, no, yeah, that's what. So who is the nearest, authority that responsibility should have been minded with. So, this case can be extended in many cases also, as already mentioned about the evaluation scheme, all those things. So, a layer of artificial intelligence with the existing service, whatever the digital transformation service that we are doing, if that layer is also added, probably it may ease our business also.
It is about our customers and prospects weighing efficiency more than indulgence with manpower, right? Looking at the tool as a way of doing it faster, automating it, and doing things correctly at a much more faster pace than relying on manpower. Because a lot of times what we hear from the industry is we have a couple of people who are hired to do that particular job, right? So the minute people realize that what you are weighing against manpower is efficiency, and you are trying to, manually do some grunt work that you can avoid by adopting a tool, just to make sure that there are no errors, right? That I think that is the biggest challenge that we are trying to address, which can be the breakthrough for us to weigh efficiency over utilization of manpower.
Okay, nice.
Interesting phase actually. When this 5G enters, what happens to these television channels? Actually, we were debating on that. Your companies like Sony, Samsung, and all that might grow because your OTT and all that will continue to increase. And India still has, I think, one TV per home kind of a scenario, but it will change. But then, interestingly, what happens to television channel likes of your Sun TV, your Pudhiya Thalamuri TV, because everyone is now on OTT, and that will, I'm sure access to OTT will become a lot more easier once this 5G enters. So, but then if you look at it from SME's perspective, there is an opportunity for you, right? So, I'm sure we will go through a very interesting transformation, like we are seeing all your work from home happening now, hospitals, virtual doctor consultations happening now, your new designations like your Swiggy, delivery, Uber driver. Very interesting.
Fantastic.
Drone-based,
I think
they are talking about the drone delivering.
Drone delivery. No, SMBs. I think the definition of SMBs. Sorry.
Drone delivery in India?
100%.
very much.
Everything will happen. Sir, see hospitals, we are working with quite a few hospitals. Okay.
Healthcare also, I'm sure, sir, you must have experienced. We work with a lot of education clients as well. Sorry, education I meant. You know, before COVID, doctor meeting is like you don't even need a medicine after that. Once you meet doctor, you know that, you feel a bit of.
Yeah, the way there are doctors.
But today, the online consultations are still happening. If not at the level of 100%, which was happening after probably the wave 1, but at least 20 to 30%. I don't think it will go down to 0, right? So, it will continue to make a big difference, okay? And a lot of positives are there thanks to COVID. I keep saying this, of course we had our own struggles, but then a lot of changes.
Yeah, we'll continue the conversations. I think over the dinner, I think the topic has picked up steam and momentum. So just to conclude, I think interesting points and thoughts and insights shared by experts from across industries. Yes, it is not about just digital by itself. I think it is all about the people that we end of the day it all gets connected with people who are actually trying to do that. And I think there are fear factors in terms of transformation, in terms of shifts. And I think educating them, helping them become more aware would always help to mitigate those kind of transformations to happen better in a SME. At the same time, yes, small changes. You also talked about just don't rush and look at transforming everything one step at a time and make changes that are sustainable and which is scalable over a period of time. And you also talked about the work from home. I think everybody today talk about work from home. When I used to be in the US about 10 years ago, work from home was pretty common. We used to continue from home and we go to the office when we need. But out in India, a few years ago, WFH is not work from home, it's work for home, right? You can't really talk about, no, I think it's the mindset of shift has happened in terms of accepting the fact that yes, you can actually work from home. I'm not talking about productivity efficiencies out here.
No, but as you said, I think now it has become work for home.
Because the pandemic is over, olden days are getting back in. So, but I think it's a nice, interesting discussion. So thank you all very much in sharing your insights and having come over here for an in-person, the second CXO Roundtable talk. And thanks to Tata Tele Business Services for providing this opportunity to meet with you all. So thank you once again. And just before ending, you can fill up the feedback form that you have, and let's continue to have dinner and keep engaging in interesting conversations. Continue out there. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you all once again.
Thank you.